In this week's Blast of Wildlife news, tragedy strikes at Gaza Zoo, an alligator heavyweight tops the scale, protections for Zanzibar, and owl burritos? All this and more, this is your 2-minute Nature News Roundup. A zoo in northern Gaza was hit multiple times this week as the animals became the latest victims of the conflict between Hamas and Israeli military. 8 to 10 monkeys were killed in the strike, and many other creatures were left injured, hungry, and stressed. Zoo staff are trying desperately to help them. Off to Africa, where the Zanzibari government is mulling over a decision to make Zimbabwe and Canggu Islands protected reserves. After a recent bout with vandals in the area, the new protections will help keep the island's biodiversity intact for years to come. Speaking of protection, the death of a rare southern right whale in Australia has led to calls for the government to act faster to protect these endangered animals. The whale suffered deep propeller cuts to its head, and while local legislation does set minimum distances between vessels and whales, conservationists believe more could be done. In some happier ocean news, a seal pup nicknamed Ludo was rescued by the Cornish Seal Sanctuary. The little seal was found floundering after swimming all the way to Portugal. He'll be monitored until he's back in fighting shape, and then released with an ID tag. Over to the US, where the government is taking the unusual step of trying to save the endangered desert tortoise by sterilization. Unwanted pet tortoises divert resources from efforts to preserve the species in the wild. Scientists hope a bit of pet birth control will solve this problem once and for all. In more reptile news, a 15-foot, 1,011-pound alligator has claimed Alabama's heavyweight crown. The state has instituted a program for limited hunting of gators in an effort to control populations and increase the animal's fear of humans. Back to Africa, where 39 vultures have been killed in southern Zimbabwe. Poachers have been fueling the decline of vulture populations in southern Africa over the past few years, but reports suggest these birds were killed by a farmer trying to rid his land of predators with poison. We're wrapping up with this week's dose of weird and adorable. How do you weigh an owl? In a blanket burrito, of course. The Raptor Center Clinic at the University of Minnesota uses this technique to keep injured owls from squirming on the scale. If weird animal news is your thing, check out Wild Watch on earthtouchnews.com. And if you want to read more about the stories in the roundup, check out the links in the video description. That's it for this week. See you next time.